Solve the compound inequality. Compound means that there's two inequalities going on. In your homework and your quiz or your test, it might have the word and, or it might have the word or. So depending on which one it is, you'll solve it a tad bit differently. But in this problem, you have the word and. So when it says and, that means that both equations, if you want to find the common answer between both equations, right? It's like, what do me and Tim have in common, right? And, what do we have in common? So the word and means in common. So you want to find the answers that these two equations have in common. If you have a homework problem that says the word or, it's like saying, would you like to do this or that? So all choices are available. So when you have the word or, all answers are available. Whereas if you have the word and, it's only what these two have in common. If the word was or, it's anything in this one or anything in this one. It's all of the answers in both of them. But the word and means just what they have in common. I'm going to solve for each one. So I have 3x minus 3 is less than or equal to 9. And the other one was 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 1. Let's go ahead and solve each one. So for the first inequality, I want x to be sitting by itself. So I'm going to do what? Add 3 on both sides. Right? I'm going to say I want the x on the left. I'm going to add 3 on both sides. If I add 3 on both sides, I end up getting 3x. Poof, disappears. Is less than or equal to 12. Last but not least, the coefficient of x is 3. So I divide both sides by 3. And therefore, I end up getting x is less than or equal to 4. Do I need to change the inequality sign? No, because we divided by positive. Good. This next one here, we do what? Minus 1 on both sides. Great. So we end up getting 2x is greater than or equal to what? 0. Okay. Divide by 2. Do I need to flip the inequality sign? So we divide by positive 2, so do we need to flip it? No, right? So x is greater than or equal to, what's 0 divided by 2? Just 0. So right now I have x is less than or equal to 4, and x is greater than or equal to 0. So, and then the word is and. So the answer is going to be what they both have in common, right? Like what do you and someone else have in common? So here, before I put my final answer here, it's nice to see a visual of it. So I'm going to put two visuals here, one on top of the other. So this is kind of like a technique I do because I'm just more of a visual person. I'm like, what do they both have in common? I can't visually see it. So for me, I say, okay, here's my 4 and here's my 0, right? So I put two number lines. So if x is less than or equal to 4, I'm going to, just on my arrow, here's 4. Do I go left or do I go right? Answers that are less than 4 will go to the left, right? So answers that are less than 4 goes to the left, right? X is less than 4 goes to the left. Does it include the number 4? Yes. So in mathematics, how you draw something to say that it includes 4 is you put a solid circle on it. If it does not include 4, you would put just an open circle. And you'll start seeing that in your quizzes or whatnot. But in this case, it includes 4, so I do a solid circle. So it's either going to be solid or open. But in this case, it's going to be solid. X is greater than or equal to 0, so now I'm going to go to my next number line. So here's my 0. Do I put a solid circle or an open circle? Why solid? Because this includes 0. It's solid. And if it's greater than 0, do I draw my arrow to the left or to the right? To the right. Because it's greater than 0, right? So here, I want to find the and. What do they both have in common? Everything between these two, where they overlap, right? So that's the reason why I draw two graphs, because the and is where they overlap answers. They overlap answers between 0 and 4. You might have been able to read this and figure that out. If x is bigger than 4 and x is greater than 0, what do they have in common? 0 to 4. Sometimes it just gets confusing, so I always like to draw it out. But if you could figure that out in your head without having to draw it out, that's fine. So when you answer the question on Alex, it's going to be from 0 to 4. So I'm going to put a solid circle on 0 because it goes through 0, and a solid circle on 4, and I'm going to draw a line in between. And what I'm saying is any numbers between 0 and 4 will make both of these inequalities true. If it said or, if this says or in it, so just warning you guys, if you guys see this in your homework or your exam or quiz, if it says or, then all of the solutions are going to be part of the answer. I mean, all of this solution and all of this solution. If it says and, it's just what they have in common.